It's time to go. Feel the speed, let it flow. Racing hearts, watch them glow. Turn it up, start the show. NFR, feel the heat. Fast and fierce, never beats. Engines roar, can't stay off seats. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet. NFR, NFR. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, slick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR, NFR, yeah. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. Tuesday night, 8 p.m. We go SAFRL the show. Engines roar, lights will glow. Feel the rush, feel the flow. Every lap, a twist, a turn. Speeding fast, rubber burn. Crowds cheer, hearts churn. Victory, what we yearn. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Victory, what we earn. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Racing fast in full stride. Crashes, spins on the track. Up and down, who's coming back? Champions rise, no slack. Push to the front, never back. Pit stops, precision, gold. Strategy, daring, bold. Who will lead, not foretold. Speed and skill, tales unfold. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Racing fast in full stride.
Just one more thing before I go. Before I let let you take the throne. You go right and I stay left. And if you ever get too close, you'll know my name before I go. They love me, then they love you now. But don't forget there's one more round. Oh, the pain, I know it will, but I wear it like a crown. I am a fighter. Before this fight is over, you'll know my name before I go. 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 Just one more thing before I go. Before I let the curtain close, you can take the spotlight now. But when the lights are low, you'll still hear my echo. They build you up, then tear you down. But I won't make a sound, 'cause I've been here before, and I'll be here when you're gone. I am a fighter. Before this fight is over, you'll know my name before I go. 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 No, I won't fade away. No, I won't break today. I've got one more thing to say before I go. You know my name 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 before I go. Before I go. Before I go. There is a star that lights the road. Will it take me to the end? Well, I don't know. But for one last time, I'll take this ride and just try. I wanna be the only one to make it to the light, take it to the edge where I have died 1,000 times, and maybe I could be the one to ride into the setting sun tonight. Just drive, breathe in. frustrated while I'm waiting on a miracle. I know the world is full of different kind of people. I know I'm strong, walking down the street and I'm feeling so invisible. You talk to me like I'm not your equal. I know I'm strong. Feel like I could break out, break out. I could use some space now to breathe out. The pressure's on me. You asked me to be something like me. Why you trying to paint me like you're enemy? Feel like I could break out into something just like me. Calling in the lines, yeah, I ain't so predictable. The world is a haystack and I am the needle. I don't belong. Why you trying to turn me into something so typical? There you go again, waiting on the sheeple. They won't belong. Feel like I could break out, break out. I could.
NFR, it's time to go. Feel the speed, let it flow. Racing hearts, watch them glow. Turn it up, start the show. NFR, feel the heat. Fast and fierce, never beat. Engines roar, can't stay off seats. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet. NFR, NFR. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, slick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR, yeah. NFR, yeah. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. Tuesday night, 8 p.m. We go SAFRL the show. Engines roar, lights will glow. Feel the rush, feel the flow. Every lap, a twist, a turn. Speeding fast, rubber burn. Crowds cheer, hearts churn. Victory, what we yearn. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Victory, what we earn. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Racing fast in full stride. Crashes, spins on the track. Up and down, who's coming back? Champions rise, no slack. Push to the front, never back. Pit stops, precision, gold. Strategy, daring, bold. Who will lead, not foretold. Speed and skill, tales unfold. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Racing fast in full stride.
Just one more thing before I go, before I let you take the throne. You go right and I stay left. And if you ever get too close, you'll know my name before I go. They love me, then they love you now. But don't forget there's one more round. Oh, the pain, I know it will, but I wear it like a crown. I am a fighter. Before this fight is over, you'll know my name There is a star that lights the road. Will it take me to the end? Well, I don't know. But for one last time, I'll take this ride and just try. I wanna be the only one to make it to the light. Take it to the edge where I have died 1,000 times. And maybe I could be the one to ride into the setting sun tonight. Just drive. Breathing out, I'm breathing in. Broken down, but I will live to fight again. For one last time, I'll take this ride and just try. I wanna be the only one to make it to the light. We'll take it to the edge where I have died 1,000 times. And maybe I could be the one to ride into the setting sun tonight. Just There is a star that lights the road. Will it take?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to NFR. Welcome back to SAFRL. Need to glance over at the screen. Well, there we go. Season 14, round 8. Forgot what round it was. Of course, we're in Singapore. Very fast circuit. Technical circuit. Circuit that can catch you out very quickly. There we go. We have a ticker. Not sure what that is. There we go. Oh yes. Did I forget? I think I forgot. Tonight must be a sprint race. I missed this. Terrible commentary. Terrible commentary. What can I say? It's a sprint race. That's why you see everybody out on track at the same time. Of course, everybody's going to get just the one lap. That's going to set the field. That'll set the field for the sprint race. Of course, you do get a separate one-shot quali for the feature race. So if the sprint race goes really badly, get a second opportunity at it. Of course, in the past on this channel, we have had where the sprint race gives you the starting field for the feature race, but not here at SAFRL. You do get a separate session. So if the sprint race is disastrous, you get a second opportunity. Of course, if you look at the list on the left-hand side, that'll give you an indication of who is fastest at the moment. see the names jumping up and down from time to time. That's somebody finding a little bit of extra time. You saw Midas going ahead ever so briefly, then Jonas going back ahead. Now Midas. Corner to corner stuff, really close. And Logic. Told you it was close. 128.1. There we go, I'm back. So there are your results. Logic takes pole. Look at those times. 128.1, then another 128.1 for Jonas. Midas 128.2. Then we got Kellogg's P4, Skulk P5, Atom P6, Maori P7, Tiago P8, Andre P9, and Harsh Cartoon makes up the top 10. 11, you've got Scar, 12, Smurf, then Spikes, then Skull. And you've got Virus. I think it's Harsh Cartoon. And I'm sorry I missed the last one. And there we go. We're looking down the empty pit lane, all the action to the right-hand side of the screen where you can't see. Of course, drivers doing their final preparations for the sprint race. Not many preparations before the sprint race. Of course, you just got to have your setup locked in, whatever you're happy with. And then, of course, the tire you believe is going to take you right to the end of the race. It's not going to be any pit stops in a sprint race. Of course, if everything goes according to plan, if you do find yourself in the pits in a sprint race, something's gone awfully wrong. Either with your driving or maybe the weather. Imagine rain in Singapore at night. Still a bit of a pause. Of course, when we do get going, it's not going to be straight into race mode. We do have the formation lap. Give all the drivers an opportunity to feel the car with a slightly heavier fuel tank. Of course, this weekend, Formula One does return. The Australian Grand Prix. MotoGP returned last week. Pedro Acosta taking his first victory in the sprint race on Saturday. And then Marco Bezzecchi taking the victory in the feature race. First time a KTM has ever led the MotoGP Championship. There we go. Do get the dual green lights, and that means we're underway for the formation lap. This is the formation lap of the sprint race. Remember, gonna have a sprint race. It's almost like a qualifying session with points. Then of course we do qualifying all over again, one shot quali, and then into the real deal. Good evening to everybody in the comment section. Lots of you here tonight. I've seen a few of you. Obviously, Death Queen, Revolution, we've got Ubuntu, we've got Milk. Also got Osman out there in the comment section. Lots of you in the comment section. 17 drivers out on track, not quite the full grid. Logic. Driver at the front of the field. Needs to manage his pace. Doesn't want to get to the grid too early and sit there. Of course, far behind you might be close behind you, but where is P17? How long are you going to be sitting on that grid? You know, in the comment section, what do you expect What do you expect from the Australian Grand Prix this weekend? Are we going to see... I have no idea what we're going to see in the top three. What if Audi just unleashes? Shows us something we didn't see in the test. What if any team gives us something we didn't see in the test? Unfortunately, that team, I don't think is going to be Aston Martin. We wait for a slightly better camera angle. Seems like Thiago has left the session. Hopefully he can get back in his car. Waiting now for a better camera angle and the red lights. There we go. Got the better camera angle. Now we wait for the red lights. 3, 4, 5. And off we go. Any time now. There we go. Longer pause than I expected. I think I jump started. Logic into turn 1. The RB on the outside. Now on the inside. Ooh, and that horse getting very messy in P3, but manages to hold on to it. It's Logic from Jonas from Midas. That is the top 3. Remember, Midas is your new Drivers' Championship leader. There he is at the top of the field. Of course, he went past Miguel. He did not race last week, and he is not taking part tonight. A good result in the sprint race and the feature race can really cement a lead here for Midas, and he'd love to leave tonight with a bigger lead in the championship. The RB absolutely not giving up P1 in that first sequence of corners. Made sure he wanted to be in the lead. One of those circuits, long straights, lots of DRS zones. If you're unable to break that DRS, you're just under constant pressure. Revolution in the comments saying the new DRS zones will be interesting. See how that's going to work. It will be interesting. I think it's obviously completely neutralized DRS as we know it. Because if the car behind or the car ahead has the same benefit as you, well, I suppose it could come down to the effectiveness of one's DRS. Of course, we've seen a lot of different variations to the DRS system. Alpine seems like the entire wing falls away, and of course Ferrari with its famous rotisserie rear wing. Logic still P2, Jonas still P1, Midas still P3. These cars still close together. Skulk doing his best to hold on in P4. There's your possible pit strategies. Thank you, EA Sports. Couldn't have done it without you. Started on the medium. You're not going to do any stops. Started on the hard. You're not going to do any stops. And that comes courtesy of EA Sports. It's in the game. You can see there the entire field on medium tires with the exception of just one driver. That driver is Milk in P5. We have a caution in sector 2, but that's all it is. You just see a small section of the circuit there lit up in yellow. You only need to panic when you see the entire circuit lit up in yellow. Jonas over the line. Lap 3 of 10. Sprint race much shortened race than the feature race, and of course only the top 8 score points, and of course those are reduced points. 8 points for the victor, 1 point for the man who gets into P8. Riding with Milk is in one of the Aston Martins. Fortunately for him, that is last year's Aston Martin. And it still has a Mercedes engine in it. Hopefully they don't build the reliability of Aston Martin into the new 2026 DLC. No one gonna want that car. Yoke saying he lost connection for that right at the start of the race, that he had left the session. He's able to get back in that car. Jonas still leading the way. Logic in P2, Midas in P3. Revolution just saying there that Aston Martin should have stayed with Merc instead. Well, now they'll definitely be thinking that. I think the initial thought was, we have a designer like Adrian Newey, and we have an exclusive engine deal, meaning no one else on the grid has that Honda engine. That Honda engine turned out to be a masterpiece. Well, Aston Martin could have been quite unstoppable. But unfortunately, for Fernando Alonso, Honda has followed him. Last time Fernando Alonso gave a Honda engine a try in a new era, well, we all remember how that worked. GP2 engine might be making a return on the radios. Of course, speaking of that Merc engine ironically goes to Alpine, the Renault Works team. Makes no sense. Are they really a Works team? Maori All Black was the first driver of the night to pick up a penalty, 3-second penalty. You think, where are these drivers cutting the corners? The barriers are so close, but trust me, they find places, and it's not always cutting the corners. It's sometimes running a little too wide on the exits, trying to use all of the race circuit. Sometimes when you're chasing someone or when you're defending, you just get carried away. Top 3 remain the same. Skulk still in P4, still managing to keep tabs on the 3 ahead, but out of DRS. Then Kellogg's, he's fallen down to P5, and he's got a bit of a queue forming behind him. Maori All Black right behind him, but with a penalty. And you got Andre P7 and Milk, the final car in the points. Osh Cartoon P9, also with a bit of a queue forming behind him. Spikes Smurf. That is unfortunately Thiago's ghost car. Then you got Captain Slow, Virus, and Scar. Back at the front, the RB putting the Red Bull team to shame. Of course, the year Sebastian Vettel won his first race for Toro Rosso in Monza. Toro Rosso also beat Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship that year. So it has happened. It's not unthinkable. All the same top 3, top 4, top 5, no changes. Maori circling in P6, but now he'll have that penalty on his mind. He'll know 3 seconds. That means Andre's going to finish ahead of him. Milk's going to finish ahead of him. Osh Cartoon won't be able to benefit from that penalty. He's a little too far back. But he's doing everything he can to defend that P9 like it is worth the points. We have had 3 retirements in this race. Almost going unnoticed. Captain Slow, Lebby, and Skull. Of course, if they were outside of the points, then they're not losing out on too much, but every single lap you do spend out there, even if you're outside the points, it's that little bit extra track time. Nugget saying, I wonder if I should make a comeback. I have a prediction. Formula One is coming back this weekend. And I think a few drivers might just be reinvigorated. Somebody has stolen my profile picture. Will you look at that? Jonas leads the way from Logic. Now got Skulk in P3. Kellogg's P4. Midas, he's gone down. Something happened there with the horse. We didn't see it. Something has happened with the horse. Midas down into P5. And there we go. That's what happened with the horse. Have a look at the front wing. There is none. No end plates on either side of that front wing. Got his teammate behind him. He and his teammate have penalties next to their names, so it's not going to help them scrapping. It doesn't seem like Maori Allblack is attempting to get past his teammate at this stage. Lap 7 of 10. Jonas leads. Logic P2. Those two continue, having shaken off the third. And then you've got Skull pushing hard. P2. The possibility, does the Alpine have damage? No, it doesn't. Wonder where that scuffle came from. Midas the only one with damage. With end plates. That was from one incident. That is quite peculiar. Had more than one. Keep your eyes out. If you see a car missing an end plate, let me know. I'm looking for one. Surely somebody else has damage. 2 end plates gone. Midas still holding on to that P5. As for his teammate, he's just lost the position. Milk goes up into P6. Maori loses another position. Is there something wrong with the horse? It doesn't appear to be ghosting. It doesn't appear to have damage. But Maori Allblack falls down to P8. First it was Midas falling out of the top 3. Now Maori Allblack barely holding on to points. And Haas will be a little disappointed with the latter stages of this race. Jonas over the line. 4.7 second lead. This will be a fantastic lesson for everybody going into the feature race. Cannot let this man get out front. Turn 1. If you do manage to get pole position, make sure you hold that lead, or it's all for nothing. If it was your profile picture first, then I apologize. I did not get inspiration from your... I did not know that was your profile picture. I made a few, and the plan was to rotate them, and I've sort of just stuck on that one. I mean, can't get much better than Senna. Jonas, lap 9 of 10, continues. 5.7 seconds is the lead. Complete domination. Of course, NFR now in February. Made 2 years. 2 years live streaming to all of you. 8 seasons of SAFRL. And some of the names, they've been here for a long time. And I just remember them being fast from the very beginning. Jonas is one of them. Logic, quick every time he's out on circuit. Lost contact with the leader. And Skulk still pushing hard. He can see a P2 here. Looking for any gap, any sort of mistake. I think he may be running out of tarmac. As for Milk, I thought he might come back strong in the latter part of the race if the drivers are starting to experience issues on those mediums. Might have come into play with those hard tires, but he's in P7 chasing down Midas actually. Have a look how close is that battle. Might still get past Midas. Got a DRS zone coming up. We have a caution in sector 2. Fortunately for him, Midas also gets DRS from the car ahead. And that's what I mean about the 2026 season. It's just going to nullify everything. Jonas goes over the line, takes the checkered flag. Logic over the line, Skulk over the line. That's your top 3. Jonas, Logic, and Skulk. Of course, then Kellogg's over the line 7.3 seconds later. Andre in P5 picks up some points. And then Milk, Midas, and Maori. So both horses do manage to stay in the points. Horse Cartoon, oh so close, P9. And then Spikes making up the top 10. Of course, now we go again. Same format you saw at the beginning of the stream, just after 8 o'clock. We had that one-shot quali session that determined the field for this sprint race. Going to do that all again. This time for a feature race. Going to be a little longer, a little harder. And the drivers need to ensure that that RB cannot simply repeat its sprint race performance. Remember the races with Three was indeed a very quick driver. Rest in peace. So there are your results. Jonas, Logic, Skulk, that's your top 3. Then you've got Kellogg's, Andre, Milk, Midas, and Maori. Those are your points finishers. Then in P9, Harsh Cartoon, followed by Spikes, Smurf, Thiag, Virus, Scar, and the 3 retirements, Captain Slow, Levy, and Skull. Are any of you in the comments section, or even any of you cricket fans? Let me know, are any of you cricket fans, and you feeling a little nervous about tomorrow? So I've been a Proteas fan ever since I can remember, and well, I've watched a little too many World Cup knockout games. Hopefully this time round we can do it different. Of course, you're looking down the empty pit lane. The driver's just getting ready. You can see the timer there at the top of your screen. They'll be getting ready for their one-shot quali. It's a lot of pressure when it comes to one-shot quali. You just get the one chance. Any sort of mistake, there's no slowing down, charging the battery, coming in the pits, trying again. Get that one shot, and if it's good enough for P17, well, that's where you're starting. Immediately into it. One-shot quali, difficult to focus on a leader because the order's always changing, and wow, Captain Slow has a big one. Captain Slow has a big one. He will be starting from P17. That's the end of his one-shot quali. Virus is also retired. He'll be starting from P16, so a lot of work to do for those two drivers. Jonas, so far, the quickest. You can see there on your timing sheet on the left-hand side of your screen. And of course, no surprises in the tires. Everyone on a set of soft tires. Jonas still quickest. Milk still P2. Maori P3. And the driver and Midas only down in P15. And there we go. That's why Haas spins around. That'll be the end of that for Midas. This has been a much more difficult qualifying session than the one we saw for the sprint race. This is the driver currently in P2. Believe they finished P3 in the sprint race. And at P2 as a starting position, it all comes up to this final part of the racetrack. Are you able to hold everything together? There we go, nicely done. Jonas over the line, 28.2. And we'll get the rest of the times when those results come up. There we go, Jonas, 128.2, matching the time he did in the first qualifying session. Then Skulk P2, Kellogg's P3, Milk P4. But Maori P5, Levy 6, Logic 7, Andre 8, Smurf 9, and Harsh Cartoon makes up the top 10. You got Spikes P11, Skull P12, a little bit of work to do. You got Tiago 13, Scar 14, Virus 15, Captain Slow P16, and Midas. Once again, we look down the empty pit lane for the 4th time this evening. Of course, this time the drivers will be doing more preparations than the last time. Last time, pretty straightforward sprint race. You just want to get to the end of the race without pitting. You're probably not going to go with the soft tire. As easy as that. When it comes to the feature race, a lot more involved. What tire are you going to start on? What tire do you intend on finishing on? When do you intend to pit? What is your plan? Of course, those plans change for the drivers that are at the front. Drivers that are at the back might have to do something different. They want to get to the front and they don't think they can get there by overtakes alone. Might have to go for an interesting tire choice. Something a little different. A slight delay, waiting for everybody to get ready, everybody to ready up. Of course, when we do get going, we're going to get a formation lap, and then we will get things going for real. Milk saying, please end in the order it started in. Of course, that takes me to F1 in the 90s and even the 2000s. Of course, you had to start the race with the fuel level you qualified with. So some cars, they'd start the race with very light fuel because they were racing on practically nothing during qualifying. And the quicker cars, well, they'd put extra fuel in and give up a bit of time. And sometimes what it would mean is you'd get a serious back runner. on the front row. And you just wish it could end that way, but inevitably after 4 or 5 laps, that car would come into the pits and give up that position. I did see it a number of times with teams like Jordan, teams like Prost, Ligier, getting to the front of the field, playing some petrol games. Of course, you can't do that anymore in F1. Qualifying is about going as light as you can go. And in the race, well, there's no refueling. Many would like refueling to return to F1, but it is now seen as a safety hazard. And think back to the incident with Jos Verstappen when his car ignited in the pit lane because of a fuel leak. Message from the comment section: good luck, everyone. Of course, we did lose 3 drivers in the sprint race, and that is a shortened version of what we're about to see now. So hopefully we don't lose drivers at the same rate, otherwise we might just finish with 10 drivers. Very difficult race circuit. One mistake will cost you an end plate. That same mistake, a slightly different angle, cost you your race. Don't worry too much about those possible pit strategies. I don't trust them, and neither should you. Here we go, Jonas lining up. Now wait for a better camera angle. There we go. You just saw that Williams getting pushed back. I don't know if you saw that on your screens. Well, that just means the driver didn't get his parking absolutely right. You just get pushed back slightly in your box. 4 red lights, 5 red lights. And we're underway. The RB versus the Williams into turn 1. Jonas made it very clear he wasn't giving up the lead in the sprint race, and this time even easier because he had pole this time round. Jonas holds the lead. Everybody behind. Seems like they got through. Got a Salva. Getting very touchy there with an Aston Martin. Early days in the race. Cars very close together. Everybody looking at making up positions. And again, goes to the inside. Shows a wing, does Kellogg's, but Milk holds the position. P3 for now. Jonas out front, 0.6 of a second. Now remember, you've got DRS, so even if that driver does have a time advantage on you lap after lap, if you're able to stay within that second, well, he does what he doesn't want to be doing. He's towing you around. The moment you fall out of that second, and Skulk is just about to, things get so much more difficult. Jonas, Skulk, Milk, those are your top 3. Will you have a look at that? The one's called Milk, the one's called Kellogg's. They work together. They should be teammates. Jonas over the line. 53.9. We'll see that lap time come down a lot before we get to the checkered flag. Very nicely done there by the Alpine. And past the fast driver. A little further back, we've got a Red Bull. They didn't make too much noise in the sprint race, did the Red Bulls? Went by pretty unnoticed, but now we've got Smurf in the points in P8. Let's just bring up the tyre screen if I can. My controller is very much misbehaving. There we go. Let's switch that off so my controller can't do anything. Everyone on the medium tyre with the exception of 2 cars. One of those cars is Andre in P9. He's gone with the hard tyre, so he's going to be pitting later than everybody else. Of course, Andre's lost his secret weapon. He obviously had Miguel at the top of the field scoring buckets of points. And now that Mercedes Constructors Championship also coming under threat. Felt doing everything he can to stay with Jonas, but that gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Not so long ago he fell out of DRS. Now the gap is 1.9 seconds. With Jonas having things all his own way at the front. Seems like the only way they're going to reel this guy back in is with a safety car. This is Skulk in P2. Oh, my time's messed up. There we go. No, they're even more messed up. I've got a broken controller. Isn't that fun? I'll be commentating on my wheel next week. Jonas leads the way in that gap, getting dangerously big for such an early stage in the race. 2.2 seconds after just 3 laps. And we've seen a mess. We've seen a mess. We didn't see what happened. We joined that incident a little bit too late. But there we go. There is Kellogg's. He is sideways. Thiago in the second Alfa, in the, I almost say Alfa Romeo. They haven't been in Alfa Romeo for quite some time. Goes past the Selba and Kellogg's. Goes from a very strong position in this race right down to P17. Try and have a better look at the car from the outside. Does it have any damage? Being P17 is one thing, but if he has to pit at the end of this lap, that's quite another. Trying to have a look. He's definitely missing an end plate on the right hand side. That's going to make things difficult, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him come into the pits and simply hope for a safety car to bring him back into this. A Red Bull going very slowly at the rear of the field. That is Captain Slow. What the issues are over there. Jonas leads the way, 2.5 seconds. The gap's still growing, but it has slowed down. Then you got the 2 Aston Martins running in 3 and 4. Murph continues his climb up the field. Of course, the last time we looked at him, he was down in P8. Now all the way up in P5. Definitely found his pace in the feature race. This is the one that counts. This is the one for the most points. The sprint race is just a little bonus. This is the one everyone wants to win. You are now riding with Smurf, one of the 2 Red Bull drivers. The other one down in P17, not having the day he'd like. As for this Red Bull, making up ground, coming under pressure. Mercedes not far away, that's Andre. See the Red Bull just up the road from him. Got pressure coming from behind. He's got 2 Haas drivers and they're both pretty angry. They want to get up the field. Andre coming under tremendous pressure. He's got 2 Haas's desperately trying to get past him, and he's trying to get past the Red Bull. Trying to focus on attack, and at the same time got to keep some focus on defense. And sometimes it all gets a bit much. As for Jonas, making light work of things at the front, 2.9 seconds. He has calmed down, you could say. Of course, the first 3 laps opened up a 3-second gap, and now he has sort of maintained it. Don't know if that's because Stelk is upping his pace or Jonas has made a mistake or two. can see the gaps forming already. Large gaps forming. Jonas, 3.3 second lead. Then the gap between Skulk and P3, 4.6 seconds. We have to go down the order to find a DRS train, and there it is. Smurf from Midas, from Maori All Black. We didn't get to see the overtake, but Andre has got past the Red Bull. He's got past Smurf. Smurf was going up the field pretty quickly. I wonder if he made a mistake. Actually just lost another position, gone down to P7. But Andre making the most of it. He's in P5 on a set of hard tires. So remember, he's going to go deeper into this race than those cars around him. Have a look what's happening at the rear of the field. That is Captain Slow circling P17. This is Kellogg's. Oh, he'll be annoyed. He knows he's quick. He knows he's got the pace. Just needs to stay out there on track. Anything can happen in Singapore. Safety car's going to bring him right back into the queue. We've got Skull. The car appears to be ghosting around the circuit. So I don't think Skull is in control of that car. Then we've got Scar in P14. Thiago in P13. He can also be very quick on his day. A lot of these drivers are surprisingly quick on their day. And if we ever get a night that they all fire at the same time, it will either be the most epic race you've ever seen on NFR, or it will be a complete disaster. Turn 1 disaster. Jonas, 4.2 seconds is the lead. Maybe you heard me that 3 seconds was sitting around for a bit long. Increase it by a second. Not much the Williams behind can do. Holding on to position, Levy P3. Followed closely by his teammate. This will be an interesting one. But a situation where 3 and 4 are both Aston Martins. Both of them would love to pick up P3, but they're teammates. So do they behave? Do they go for it? Have a look. Andre, I think Andre was measuring up Milk. Didn't quite make the move happen, but he is showing attack. He wants to attack. He wants to go forward. Believes he's got the pace to get past the Aston Martin, but the problem is you line up that Aston Martin, you get it wrong, and you've got Midas trying to take your position. Again, attack and defense at the same time. Not easy to be in the middle of a DRS zone. Also not easy to be at the front of a DRS zone because you're the only one not getting the benefit. Stay with this battle for now. Seems to be the closest battle on the racetrack. Midas. Nicely done up the inside of Andre. I don't think Andre saw that one coming. Look. He struggled for traction on the exit. He has recovered. He's in P5. To line up Midas. Now Midas is the one behind Milk. Now Midas is the one who has to attack and defend. Absorb some of the pressure. Andre will say, I'll just ride behind you for a bit and I'll try to force you into a mistake. Tries to go around the horse on the outside, just ran out of race circuit. He's definitely got pace in that Mercedes. And as these medium runners around him start to fall off, those hard tires are going to be prime. He wants to make up as much track position as he can. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Of course, he's the only driver in the top 10 to have won with those hard tires, the only one to have gone out of sync with everybody else when it comes to strategy. We have another two hard runners, but they're down the field. Spa, P14, and then Kellogg's. But that was due to a tyre change at the start of the race. Back to the front, just to keep an update on your leader. 4.7 seconds for Jonas, having an absolute stroll in the park, it seems. Then you've got Skulk P2. He's got a large lead of his own over P3, so some pretty big gaps. Then you got Midas in P4. He's not comfortable in P4. He's still got Andre right behind him. And look who's coming up behind the both of them. It's a very, very quick driver who didn't have a fantastic qualifying session. F1 logic. He himself is also trying to get to the front. A lot more action in the midfield than there is at the front. Top three very openly spread. And this is where the action starts. P4. Andre challenging for that P4, and Logic getting closer and closer into turning that into a battle of three cars. Drivers doing well. Lap 9 of 31. Of course, we had 3 DNFs in the sprint race. We're still holding on to all of our drivers so far in the feature race. Fortunately, the leader has run off into the distance. Levy hasn't been able to do too much about Skulk. And that means the top 3 are all in races of their own. They're down to P4. Find our first real battle. Midas holding on. Having a very, very strong sprint race. In the first stint of that sprint race, he was well within the top 3. Well within holding on to Jonas. And then that mistake came, that incident came. He managed to finish in the points, finished in P7. Didn't have a great qualifying session for the feature race, and that's why he started so low down the order, but now he's up into P4. And he'll do everything he can to defend it, but Andre wants that position, and I think shortly Andre's going to have the better tire. Once you start on the medium, you end on the hard. Start on the hard, you're going to get the quicker tire in the second stint. Andre's just gone slightly different to those around him. Sometimes you can't do it with outright speed. Got to roll the dice. Something different. See where it takes you. We have a caution in Sector 1, but fortunately that's all it is, and it's gone. Of course, the only time you need to be concerned is when you see that entire track map light up in yellow. Well, then we know what's coming. So far, so good. Jonas P1, 6.7 seconds is that lead, getting bigger and bigger. Then Skulk P2, he's got a 10-second lead over P3. And that P3 is now Midas. Andre lines him up. Is he going to get him this time around? Not quite. The Haas closes the door, but he runs wide in the process. Andre would have wanted a slightly better exit. He could have got the Haas when he ran wide, but he just went cautious. He does have the speed. And the track is coming to the tire he's on. So he will get another opportunity. He's just fallen back slightly. Almost a second adrift. Thiago again leaves the session. He's having bad luck with the internet tonight. You guys almost didn't get a stream. You guys almost didn't get a stream in the pre-stream just prior to the race. I was completely disconnected from the internet for about 5 minutes. Everything literally dropped to 0. So we got this thing going just in time. So I feel the frustrations of the drivers who get kicked from the lobby. Not in a Aston Martin, is he? No, he's not. He's in a Sauber. So if he was in an Aston Martin, well, you could just call it realism. That's a word, right? Realism? I think so. Realism. Jonas, 7.3 seconds. Then Skulk, then Midas, 10.5. Keep your eyes on that gap, 10.5 seconds. We know Midas has got a lot of pace, and now he's finally got some clean air ahead of him. He still has to worry about Andre on the hard tire. So he's going to stay out when everybody comes in front of him. That should happen in the next couple of laps. I think one or two cars have already made that swap. Jonas has a massive lead, so he could potentially stretch these tires a little longer if he wanted to. Have fresher tires than everybody else in the closing laps. Such a huge buffer, can really do whatever he likes. Of course, a mistake here in Singapore can quickly put an end to everything. This is Spikes, picks up a position as Midas comes into the pits. Andre up into P3. And Jonas decides to stay out, as does the man in P2. Now we've got a caution. Oh, how they would have loved that to be something else, but that's all it is, just a caution. I'll be back with everyone in just a minute. I have to drink something. I'll be back. Here we go, we're back. My voice, I think, was just about to go. Jonas, now the leader, finally coming into the pit. Of course, in real life, you'd have to worry about a pit stop going awfully wrong and all that work you did at the front being cancelled out, but we're not going to see that in the game. Pretty simple. The only thing you can mess up is the turn in, and even if you do, it doesn't cost you that much time. He's back out on track. He regains the circuit in P2, and that's exactly what I was talking about, folks. If the track lights up completely in yellow, well, I do not see... Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I was going to say I do not see the yellow dot. This might be a virtual safety car, but it is indeed a full safety car. We're under full safety car conditions. Lap 14 off 31. Atom Milk retires from the session, as does Virus. I'm looking over at my comment section, and apparently Milk was killed by a horse. That is his second comment. I was killed by a horse. His first comment was, well, what the bleep? I have no idea why I don't swear on this channel. I totally swear on this channel. It makes no difference. But, in fact, YouTube community guidelines basically say you can swear after the first 90 seconds. Fortunately, if you swear within the first 90 seconds of your video, well, then they have a problem with it. Comes after a minute and a half, it's all good. Then you can just go crazy. One day I should do a stream the way I am in front of a Formula One race. And all the cursing comes out. Be an interesting stream. An alternate reality NFR. So you'd be impressed. My the only thing more impressive than my vocabulary is my cursing vocabulary. I'm very proud to say that I can swear in 5 languages. It's really all you need. Of course, we are under safety car conditions. As you can see, the entire track map on the right hand side lit up in yellow. This does change the race. Of course, Jonas, he was running away with things. Skulk was in P2 and the gaps were so large. And now this just changes everything. It brings the field back together. Some of those cars had already made their pit stop. Others had not. Some will gain a huge advantage from this. Others are going to get a huge disadvantage from this. Fortunately, all the gaps are gone. So if you did suffer the misfortunes of the safety car, you do have the opportunity to come back through the field, but that's going to be through overtakes. Jonas just weaving behind that. Martin wondering who's driving it, why are they driving it so slow. That's Lance Stroll in that car. That's going to be Lance Stroll's next job. Payback, Dad. Gonna have to spend some seasons in the safety car. In fact, in 2026 we will not be seeing this safety car. Aston Martin no longer a safety car provider for F1. That contract was not re-signed, so Mercedes will be the only safety car we see in 2026. Something tells me we're going to see a lot of it. While we're on a safety car, we can... There we go, I think we're getting the green light. So the safety car going to come in? Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Of course, with the current world events, the Bahrain and Saudi Grand Prix are under threat of not happening. But I can tell you a little bit of good news, is that 2 tracks are already apparently lined up and ready. But that decision would need to come in the next week or so, because those tracks do need time to prepare. Those tracks will be Imola and Portimão. Hopefully we are able to hold on to our 24 race calendar. As things stand, we might have already lost 2 races. Of course, the area in Bahrain affected by yesterday's missile strike is just 10 kilometers from the Bahrain circuit. Thought we might get going this time round. Safety car still stays out. Got a few cars lingering at the back of the field. Hopefully they'll catch up to the queue this lap. Otherwise, they do get left behind. I think the safety car does a maximum of 3 laps. Then it will leave you behind if you haven't joined the queue. So don't be one of the unlucky ones. Get to the back of the queue. Gives you the best opportunity in the second stint of this race. Of course, we don't get another safety car. That could be the end of pit stops. Now, I'm not quite sure if Andre would have wanted that safety car. He probably would have wanted that safety car a few laps later. Probably had a few more laps he wanted to get out of those hard tires. He had to react to the safety car, came in, put on a set of mediums. But now the question is, how will those mediums feel at the end? Was his stint on the hard tire long enough? Or is he going to be 2 or 3 laps short at the end? So remember, every time you're doing laps under the safety car, well, you're not using those tires up as much. So it says 2 laps on those mediums, but they're practically new. Safety car will be in this lap. We've got confirmation. And Jonas will be looking forward to getting things back underway. My voice is not happy with me today. I already know what I'm going to sound like tomorrow. Jonas, what a start, what a start. I'm not sure if he kept the field, if he just jumped everyone. Everyone was caught napping, or if that was just... Look at that, he's broken DRS before the other guys can even think of DRS. 1.1 seconds is the lead. Skulk P2. You'd have been happy earlier on in the race. He had a huge lead over P3, but now he's got Andre in his mirrors. Andre on a fresh set of medium tires. Everyone around him now on a set of hard tires. So he should have the superior grip. He should have the advantage with him right now. He is in the top 3, but if he wants to do anything about the leader, he's going to have to do something about the Williams first. Of course, we have lost 2 drivers. I'm not sure where Virus is. I know Milk was in the comment section. I hope he's still here. Dip in viewership ever since Milk left the race. Milk, come back. Bring your fans back. Jonas leads the way, and look at the gap. 1.9 seconds already. Thought the rest of the lineup would be pretty happy with being able to reel Jonas back in, but he's just getting away again. He's doing it all over again. He's read the script. He sees nothing wrong with it. He's not changing it. And he's just going through with it again. Maori All Black picks up a 3-second penalty. Let's just bring up those penalties. 3 seconds apiece for Captain Slow and Maori All Black. So while my controller is doing interesting stuff. Look at that. I'm not even touching it right now. Gotta love it. And there we go. Jonas leads the way. I'm tired of saying it. 2.4 seconds is the lead. Then Andre, P3. P2 still very much in reach, but he needs to make the overtake now. Those tires towards the end of the race, the hard tires are still going to be comfortable. The medium tires are going to be on a knife edge. So if he's going to take P2, he needs to do it now while the tires are working, while they're at their peak. Currently got 4 laps on them. They round about lap 11, lap 12 on those tires. He will start to feel the effect, and all those hard runners around him. It'll be their turn. Logic now picks up a 3-second time penalty for a driver who's trying to come through the field. That is not what you want to see next to your name. Kellogg's now picks up a 10-second penalty. That's for speeding in the pit lane. And I think he has DNF from this race as well. Either that was going to be a pit stop, then he got angry with the penalty, or he was always going to go into the pits and retire. So Kellogg's has called it a night. Milk has called it a night. Said those two should be teammates, you know, Kellogg's, Milk, whatever the case may be, but they're both out of the race. Virus also out of the race. As for Jonas, throw anything at him. Doesn't care. Won the sprint race. Led the feature race throughout. Thought things might get a little spicy under safety car. He might fall down through the field, have to make some overtakes, give him a bit of a difficult job. That wasn't the case. When the safety car came out, he was in the lead. And at the start of the race, he opened up a 1-second gap before turn 1. Have a caution in sector 3. Hopefully that's all it is. A patch of yellow there in sector 3. It's already cleared up. Unfortunately, the drivers, well, they get a big notification saying safety car. I do not. I just get caution. So every time I see that yellow pop up on the top left, it does just skip a beat. Lap 21 of 31. Coming into the final third of this race. Sprint nights last just a little longer than our normal format. Quickly just have a look at the calendar. We haven't looked at the calendar. Where are we going next week? That's the track I prefer. Now there's a track I prefer. We're going to the classic Interlagos. They prefer because Singapore's never really been my thing. In fact, street tracks have never really been my thing. Surprisingly, with the exception of Monaco. I actually like Monaco. I say F1 2026, bring the Monaco reverse layout. That'll be interesting. In fact, bring the reverse layouts for all the circuits. What a calendar we would make. Captain Slow picks up a 3-second penalty. If Jonas were to make a 3-second penalty, it would make no difference because he's got a 4.7 second lead. Skulk, on the other hand, still in P2, but he's having to do everything to hold on to P2. Andre just behind him, P3, superior tire, superior grip at this stage of the race, but if he's going to make it count, he needs to make the overtake now. Just with every corner he doesn't make the overtake, with every lap he doesn't make the overtake, those mediums are just losing that advantage, that extra grip. And very quickly it goes the other way, and the hard tire is the tire to be on. Logic in P4, having a great race. Just for that penalty next to his name, it will be very annoying. He knows that whatever he does, he needs to do even better by 3 seconds if he wants to hold on to the position he's currently in. Andre still P3. So close, just can't make the overtake happen. Overtaking not looking very easy, of course. Skulk does not get DRS, so all he's doing to stay in front is trying to manage his battery. Eventually, that battery does run out. It's inevitable. That driver should be able to get past you on DRS. Well, looking at the battery levels, I'm not going to say them out loud in case drivers are listening, but for the viewers, you can have a look at the battery levels on your screen and you can see somebody has a full battery and somebody does not. Jonas leads the way, 5.6 seconds. Huge gap, almost as large as it was before the pit window, before the safety cars. I think it was 7 point something. Now it's 5.5. Just being able to rebuild that lead as if the chaos never happened. Two Haas drivers having a slightly better race than they did in the sprint, where they finished 7 and 8. Mauri again in 7th, this time Midas up to P5. What could have been in that sprint race, showed so much pace as he did in qualifying. For the feature race, just couldn't get that lap together. Down in P5. And Andre continues to push to no avail. Andre just stays in the mirrors of the Williams. Let him know, I'm still here. Make a mistake, I'm going to take it away. So many of these drivers, they spend so much time behind the wheel. They spend so much time racing each other. Not only on the races you see on this channel, but a lot of them are in various other leagues. And even if it's not F1, if it's GT racing or whatever they are racing, a lot of these drivers, they're used to the pressure. They can absorb the pressure. They don't think about it as much as I do. Of course, if I've got somebody in my mirrors just a second behind me for 5 or 6 laps, well, I'm definitely going to make a mistake in those 5 or 6 laps because I spend more time looking in the mirror than I do looking at the apex of the next corner. And eventually, you run into trouble. I'm so impressed by all these drivers who are able to attack and defend at the same time. Quite the talent. Logic has made his job more difficult, had a 3-second penalty. He's picked up a second 3-second penalty, so that's 6 seconds next to his name. Fantastic result on the timesheet. Not going to look as good when he goes over the checkered flag. Pick up 5.9 seconds now for the lead. Andre still P3, now 7/10 off that Williams. I wonder if he's just starting to fall back. Remember, 10 laps on the mediums, but they should have just a little bit of extra life because some of those laps were done under safety car. If you're expecting 12 laps out of a set of mediums or whatever the case may be, well, you can probably expect 13 or 14 even. Not all of those laps were done under racing conditions. You're looking at Logic, the driver who could have had a much better race, but he's got those penalties next to his name. You also got to wonder, if he didn't have the penalties next to his name, would we be pushing even harder? Sometimes just takes a little bit out of you when you get those penalties. And of course, a late safety car with penalties next to your name, well, that's the end of it all. We're getting close to safe territory. That means you can't get any more safety cars, but we're not quite there yet. Still 26 of 31. Everyone still needs to behave themselves for a few more laps. Otherwise, we could have complete mayhem. Let me know in the comment section. Let's see, the comment section is very, very quiet. Who do you think will win? Actually, who do you think will take pole position on Saturday? You have 11 teams to choose from. You don't have to give me a driver, just give me a team. What team do you think will take pole position for the Australian Grand Prix on Saturday? Skulk, Andre, 3/10 of a second. I was wondering if Andre was maybe falling back because of the tires, but he has been able to come back 3/10 of a second. He's right on the back. 10 seconds now for Logic for speeding in the pit lane, and he has called it a day on his race. Misfortunes. Took pole position for the sprint race. Then his feature race just never really got going. And every time he did make up some momentum, he lost it to penalties. So his frustration has caused him to call it a day. Revolution saying Ferrari. Ferrari showing some serious pace. Going to be such an interesting season. Of course, these engines are new, these cars are new. See, Aston Martin got the entire combination wrong, but who's going to get it spot on, and how much do we really know about testing? Has Mercedes been holding back? God forbid, have Ferrari been holding back? Of course, what about Red Bull? A lot of talk around the paddock is that Red Bull engine is incredibly quick and incredibly reliable. It's going to be an interesting season, because for the first time in a long time, I can't put it down to predicting between two drivers. I have no idea who's going to be quickest come Australia. That's always a good way to start a season. Also Mercedes as well. There's a lot of talk about that Mercedes engine prior to testing. Didn't see too many fireworks from Mercedes in testing, but I will remind you all, do not take testing times seriously. They mean nothing. All you need to do is go back to the Vettel Ferrari era and see how many times Vettel was quickest in testing, only to get completely dominated by Mercedes in the season that followed. Of course, whatever engine regulation Mercedes did get around, well, we got lucky, because the FIA said we are going to change the regulations, but only in June. So Mercedes get to keep their special gimmick for the first half of the season. I suppose it's better than DAS. They got to keep DAS for the whole season. Jonas from Skulk. Skulk's done such a great job to hold on to P2. He's had to work for it. Andre has been attacking Midas, now attacking the Mercedes. This is why I say it was important for Andre to get by earlier on in the race, because if those mediums do start to fall off, you would have wanted to have a slight buffer now to Skulk. Fortunately, he's behind Skulk, and this is the driver behind him. On a set of hard tires. His name is Midas. You might know him. He's quick. And he wants P3 here tonight. Maybe even P2. We're going to ignore Jonas. That's what happens when you're too fast. Your sponsors get no TV time. All our attention turns to the battle for P2, which is still far from decided. Just 2 laps to go. Lap 30 of 31. Who will finish on top? Will Skulk keep his cool? He should. He's got the hard tires. I don't think Andre should be able to attack him. The only thing Andre should be able to do on this lap is defend, defend, defend. And Midas gets by. Both those cars had DRS. Midas gets the superior speed down the straight. Just gets a bit of a twitch on the exit. Car is under control. He's now in P3. That will have allowed Skulk a little bit of breathing room. Still has a long way to go to secure that P2. Just a lap and a half, but it's going to feel like a long way to go. Thought from Tiago in the comment section. Let's go. Got who that was to. Let's go, Midas. In P3. He is pushing. This push, mate. He is pushing. Imagine you're pushing and an engineer comes on. Oh my word. I would get so many FRA fines. Midas. Lap 31 of 31. You can see he's doing everything he can with the battery, as are the drivers around him. For Skulk, he's the only one of those three with no DRS. Don't understand how difficult that is. The driver behind you is coming at you each and every single DRS zone. You're looking in your mirrors, in the braking zones, looking where the other driver is. He's absorbed it. He stayed in P2 without the DRS, maintained the position, absorbed the pressure from Andre. Andre has since fallen back to P4. What a fantastic race it's been for P2. As for P1, well, not much to say. What a performance. A little further back, we still have fights going on for, is that P6? Spikes challenging Lebby. And at the front here, it's still Midas versus Skulk. Midas now wants P2. He wanted P3, but now he smells P2. He can see P2. He can almost reach the rear wing. And there we go. Can he get it stopped? Can he get it stopped? It's off circuit. But Skulk holds on to the position. Midas almost made it work. But Skulker's over the line P2, Midas over the line P3. Not sure what happened to Andre. He's fallen back. Still manages to get over the line in P4 thanks to that buffer. Spikes over the line P5. Then Maori, followed by Lebby. That's Smurf coming around the final corner for P8. You're going to have quite the wait for the two Ferraris. There's the first of those two Ferraris. Harsh Cartoon comes over the line in P9. Now we wait for the final points finisher. That'll be the second Ferrari. Good evening overall for the Ferrari team. You always want to have both of your cars in the points. There's no points on the night for Sauber. We wait for Skull to come over the line. I think that is a ghost car. And Tiago to come over the line. That is also a ghost car. And there we go. That was season 14, round 8. What a race it was. Jonas had some fun at the front, made it his private practice session. He definitely had a battle for P2, and Skulk had to absorb a lot of pressure, which he did very well. Jonas, race winner and fastest lap. Then Midas takes the driver of the day and the most overtakes. And the cleanest driver, that goes to the Ferrari of Harsh Cartoon. Your results. Let me just get to the right results. There we go. Your results for the feature race. Jonas takes the victory and the fastest lap, 131.6. P2 goes to Skulk, then Midas P3. That's your podium. Andre just off the podium in that last lap. He finishes P4. Then Spikes 5, Maori 6, Lebby 7, Smurf 8, Harsh Cartoon 9, and Scar picks up the final point. P11 goes to Skull, Tiago 12, Captain Slow 13, and then the retirements, Logic, Kellogg's, Milk, and Virus. And there we go. That's the end of that. Season 14, round 8. If you all enjoyed it, it was a great race. We had a few issues, but luckily that was prior to the stream going, and we got all of qualifying, all of the sprint race, all of the feature race, everything got broadcast. I was a little worried prior to the start of the race. Of course, we will be back next week. Let's have a look at that calendar before we go. Of course, we head off to, we can get rid of the PlayStation. We don't need that. There we go. We go to Interlagos. Then after that, we go to Vegas. The penultimate race of the season will be an NFL viewer voting mystery circuit. Of course, as we get closer to that event, I will release the 4 tracks you can vote on. And then we will finish season 14, where all seasons finish. Maybe 2026 won't finish there. We don't know yet. Yas Marina. So I want to thank you all one more time. Got quite a few views here tonight. Comment section was quiet, but I hope that's because you were all watching the race and enjoying the race. So one more time, thank you all very much. If you enjoyed the video and you haven't clicked on the like button, remember to click on the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Every little bit helps. And of course, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of music as I always do. And I'll speak to you all next week. Until then, cheers.
Well, I don't know. I wanna be the only one to make it to the light. Take it to the edge where I times and times, and maybe I could be the one to run into the setting sun tonight.
Is that real sweat?
It's real sweat. I'm a high performance athlete. Athletes sweat. Sweat, baby. Sweat, sweat.
You've got a fire burning deep inside, a spark in the dark where your dreams collide. They'll tell you to stop, say the road's too long, but your heart keeps beating to a rebel song. Take a step, don't look below. Every scar's a story, only you will know. The weight of the world can't break your stride. You're carving your name where the stars reside. When the shadows call, when the nights grow cold, you'll find the strength in the tales untold. You can rise to the sky, touch the edge of the flame, write your heart in the light, let the world know your name. No chains can hold you, no storms too wide. You're a legend in the making when you rise to the sky. The ground may shake, but your roots run deep. Every fall you take is a promise you keep. The doubters will fade, their voices will break, 'cause your soul's on fire and it's yours to take. Run through the rain, chase the endless fight. Every dream you claim lights a spark in the night. The horizon's calling, it's yours to claim. A warrior's heart with a fearless flame. When the shadows call, when the nights grow cold, you'll find the strength in the tales untold. You can rise to the sky, touch the edge of the flame, write your heart in the light, let the world know your name. No chains can hold you, no storms too wide. You're a legend in the making when you rise to the sky. Stand tall when the thunder roars, break the locks, kick down the doors. Every step is a battle won, your story's just begun. Oh, let it soar, forevermore, forevermore. You can rise to the sky, touch the edge of the flame, write your heart in the light, let the world know your name. No chains can hold you, no storms too wide. You're a legend in the making when you rise to the sky. So keep on climbing, don't ever slow. The stars are waiting where the brave ones go. You'll rise to the sky. Yeah, you'll rise to the sky. A legend in the making till the end of time.